Welcome back to the Gun Dungeon, guys. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about something that I've seen come up a few times. Uh, that the recent Hornady Critical Duty 45 ACP video that I put out, I shared it on a few like Facebook groups and stuff like that. So I see a lot of comments that aren't just on YouTube video comments. And some of the narrative coming from the comments is along the lines of, well, why does it matter? Have you ever shot anyone? Have you ever used a round in defensive scenario? That type of stuff. Well, if that's the way you're going to look at it on bullet performance, then you can apply that logic across the board to why do you even carry a gun? So if the odds are against you to ever use a gun in defensive scenario, why even carry one? Because really, statistically, it is very, very, very unlikely that a civilian is ever going to use a gun in a defensive scenario, which is a good thing. In the United States, especially, that is a good thing. We have that privilege here. But it's not about the odds of using a handgun. It's about what's at stake if you ever have to. It's your life. It's your family's life. It's whoever is an innocent person that you may be able to protect. It's their life at stake against a criminal's life. So with that being said, we'll just talk a little bit about why bullet selection is important and why I do the tests that I do. I know most of my stuff is a little bit nerdy as far as, ballistics and I'll calculate energy sometimes. I get a little bit nerdy with it. It's just because I like it. Like I can get really, really nerdy with it because that's where I live in the gun world. Is I'm really, really nerdy with stuff. But I try to keep things as simple as I can for the viewers and just show, hey, look, this bullet performs, this bullet doesn't. If you're going to carry a gun, carry a round that works. Carry a bullet that works. Know the difference in effectiveness between a 5-inch barrel and a 3-inch barrel. Know that changes things. Here are the variables. I try to put that out there for that. But I mean, if you're going to go through the trouble of carrying a gun concealed, dressing around the gun, buying the gun, getting proficient with it, buying the holster, getting used to carrying all the time in everyday carry scenarios, carrying a spare mag, doing your training, all those things. If you're going to go through the process of doing that, why would you not equip yourself with the best thing possible? Do I know what the best thing is? Absolutely not. I do not know what the best round or the best platform or none of that is. I just test stuff, put it out there for you, let you decide. Everything that I do, I try to do it from a non-biased basis, but everybody knows I'm a CZ nut. Everybody knows I like Glocks. Everybody knows that I like 10 millimeter. Can't hide that stuff, but I try to do everything in a non-biased manner to where it is what it is, and you can decide for yourself. So after saying that, my question is if you're not worried about what hollow point or what defensive round does perform, and it's a minute issue to you or a variable that doesn't matter, why not just carry a full metal jacket? Let me show you why you shouldn't carry a full metal jacket or a non-expanding round. First up, we're going to run full metal jacket just to establish a baseline and see how we do with it. All right, so you can see the little denim drug into the wound track here. Not much to speak of as far as actual damage, just pretty well straight line shot as we would expect. However, we actually can see the bullet quite well. It's laying in a perfect spot there, and we're coming at 27 3/4 inches to the leading edge of that bullet. So strangely enough, that was over a year ago, and I was wearing the same shirt I'm wearing now. I like to wear these flannel shirts in the wintertime, cold time, and I just so happen to have it with me up here in Illinois. As you can see, it's really, really white out there. We got about a foot of snow today. Work got canceled, so here I am sitting in the motel talking to you guys. I feel like I hadn't put out a video in a while. After SHOT Show, I'd put out 5 videos in like 7 days. So I figured I would make this little video here. But anyways, if you saw that in the video, you saw virtually no wound track and 27 and 3/4 inch penetration from a 380 full metal jacket. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is if expansion and bullet performance wasn't important, law enforcement, bullet manufacturers, none of those people would be worried about bullet performance. But in the last 20 to 30 years, bullet performance has been the peak of what ammo manufacturers have been going for. A lot of people can say it's marketing or whatever. I still use a lot of XTPs, which is kind of like 1980s technology. But there are a lot better performing rounds out there. The Gold Dot is a great round. The G2 Gold Dot is an even better round than that. The HST, way better than the HydroShocks. I mean, the technology keeps growing because that is the point of defensive ammunition. The better you can make the bullets, the better you can make the rounds, the better odds you give somebody that's going to use that gun in a defensive scenario. And again, it's not like you're just carrying it to be carrying it. You're not carrying it because you have a high likelihood of ever having to use it. You're carrying it because you have a high stake of what you have to lose if you ever have to use it. How many times do you drive your car and you never have a flat, yet you're tickled to death that you've got a good quality flat or a good quality spare that has air in it and is ready to go as soon as you do? Now, yes, a hollow point is going to do better than a full metal jacket, but let's look at the flip side of things. If anybody watched my 10mm video, you can have overexpansion. And what I mean by that is in the 10mm video, I ran some light for caliber bullets that I had hand loaded, of course, and I ran them at 10mm velocities. And of course, those bullets were made for 40 caliber. Which is, or 40 Smith & Wesson. I hate saying caliber because I know that's total different nomenclature. But it was designed for 40 cal velocities. In a 10mm, they overexpanded. I got less than 8 inches of penetration from a full power 10mm load that was a hollow point. Let me show you. All right, moving on. XDM, 4.5 inch barrel. We're gonna do the 165 grain V-Crown. Of that one, but I'm going to say it was scooting, and the reason I think that is because we got 8.25 inches of penetration from that bullet. Clearly, guys, that bullet is designed for a 40 cal load, 40 cal velocities. Look at that wound tract. I mean, that's comparable to some moderate rifle rounds. But we only got 8 inches of penetration, 8.25. And you can see that bullet is just pancaked out. All right, so it was 8.25, sue me. Either way, that's a full powered 10mm load that went 8.25 inches. Yeah, it had massive expansion, but it was not designed for that. That bullet was not designed for those velocities. That's why it failed. It underpenetrated. Overexpanded, underpenetrated. So you have both sides of the variable here where you can overpenetrate, underexpand, or not expand at all, such as the critical duties that we was talking about, or you can overexpand, lose your energy, and underpenetrate, neither which are ideal. You want to have, the FBI didn't come up with their protocol of the 12 to 18 inches of penetration, 4 layers of dip. They didn't just make that up out of nowhere. It actually, a lot of that sort of standards for their testing dates back to the 1986 Miami-Dade shootout, which Paul Harrell has an excellent video on. If you ever want to know the information on that, go check that out. But that's where a lot of the protocol comes from, which is also where the 10mm and the 40 cal comes from. There's a lot of cool history there if you ever want to look it up, or if you're interested in hearing my version of it or what I have to say about it, then let me know in the comments and I'll do a video on it. But I don't think I'll be able to touch what Paul Harrell did regarding that. But anyways, I'm starting to talk too much here. Like I said, if you're going to carry a handgun, you're going to go through the trouble of learning a handgun, learning how to shoot a handgun, doing the training, doing all the things necessary to be proficient in concealed carry. Do yourself a favor and make sure that you're carrying the right round for the right barrel length and the right caliber that you're carrying. It's not just a one size fits all. Some rounds do great in long barrels. Some rounds do good in short barrels. That's why generally I will test everything in a short barrel, because most of the time if you get the performance in a short barrel and you add 1.5 inches, 2 inches of barrel length, it's going to perform well too. But I will try to test things in longer barrels, short barrels, and give you the difference in how it actually performs. And you make the decision yourself. But to say, well, why does it matter? Why does gel test matter? And all that stuff, like, it's just kind of silly. So I just wanted to make this quick little video and get it out to you all. And hopefully you all are staying tuned for Saturday's upcoming video. And until next time, stay tuned.